Welcome to a brand new episode of the Post Game. I'm your host, Davion. Today we are back with a brand new series on the channel. It's going to be a New Orleans Saints series on the channel because I am a Saints fan. I'm just going to talk about the offseason. Don't know what I'm going to call it yet, so leave down in the comments what you think I should call it. I'm probably going to try to get these videos out maybe once, maybe twice a week. So let me know how you feel. I love any feedback you guys give on everything I'm about to talk about now. But starting off with free agency started about 3 days ago. Saints signed linebacker. Well, coming into free agency, Saints were probably down about $1 million. They 3 days into free agency now, the Saints have finally created a little bit of space. We're about, I think, just under $14 million in cap space. So, all in all, it's a good time to be a Saints fan. Honestly, going into this this break or this offseason, I guess you would call it. I don't know. I've been saying the Saints had a very bad year. They definitely let me down, very, very much so. And I honestly think that, going into it after the season completely ended, I thought that, next year we're gonna suck. Dennis Allen's gonna get fired. And Derek Carr is not gonna lead us to anything because Derek Carr is awful. Don't get me wrong, Derek Carr has not done anything yet next season. Obviously, we don't know what that's going to look like. We don't know who's going to have blah 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 blah. But I am kind of optimistic about some of the guys, some of the picks that we've been doing, and some of the work we've been doing this offseason. Um, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in the drafts. I'm looking forward to seeing what other free agents we pick up if we can fix our secondary because that's always been the problem. But last year our defense was the bright spot for the team. So hopefully we can figure that out. Derek Carr needs to play better, plain and simple. If he doesn't, then we're gonna be back to where we was, and we're gonna have one more year on Derek Carr contract. So then we could go draft a quarterback next year. So let's start right there. Let's start with the draft. So, initially after the season ended, I wanted us to go get a running back. I thought, oh, not a running back. Sorry. I wanted us to go get a quarterback. Love Jaden Daniels. But when the season got when the season ended, so many teams came out of the woodworks looking for new play or looking for quarterbacks. I mean, you have Jaden Daniels, who's arguably going to go in the top five. We got uh Caleb Williams, obviously going to go pretty early. We got Drake May. We got Michael Penix, who, in my opinion, I don't really like as a quarterback. I think there's a lot there that to be undesired. Injury prone. He's a one read quarterback. I like Jane Daniels a lot. I think I already said that. And and you got Bo Nix out there as well. So I mean, there's a lot of guys out there that I like this offseason. But looking at it now, I think they won't last to the 14th pick. I think the Saints have. And so when you look at that, I am at a point in my life where I am I'm happy where the Saints are. I'm happy that if we don't go get a quarterback. And I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. Yeah, Saints. So right now the Saints have the 14th pick in the draft. I definitely don't think we should go out and get a court or we should move up. Please, for the love of all that's holy, don't go get another defensive end. I don't want us to spend a first round pick on another defensive end. I'm over the whole routine that we trade up for a defensive end or continue to get a defensive end. We've done that for the past bunch of seasons and I'm over it at this point. Let's go out. Let's go get a secondary. Let's go get an O lineman. I'm perfectly fine with the O lineman. I think at this point we need to beef up the O line. Or let's go get a corner or a corner or a safety. I'm okay with any of those guys. Middle linebacker can obviously be talked to. I just don't want to waste a first round pick on an edge rusher. Like I think there's so many in college that so many guys that come out of college that can be good edge rushers, and I don't think we need to waste that on that first round pick. It's been a while since we had such a high first round pick. So, let's go get something that can be useful, like an O lineman. So looking away from the draft, Saints did something this offseason. They fired Pete Carmichael, thank the Lord, and hired Hold on. Let's see if I can find his name. Signing Clint Kubiak from the San Francisco 49ers. I think he was their passing offensive coordinator, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, is a passing game specialist. That's what he was. And so, I mean, I like it. I think this is going to open up our team from the offensive perspective, and take us back to getting, hopefully figuring out what Derek Carr is doing, and getting us back to what we need to be doing, because that's a big signing for us, I think. And if Dennis Allen can't get it done this year, I think it's time to go. Because in an NFC South that's not that strong, we should have won it last season, plain and simple. No one expected Baker to do what he did and get a 3-year, $100 million contract, but that can't happen again. We need to go in there and take care of business this entire season. And so moving on to some signings, some releasings. Let's start off with Jameis Winston, Saints legend. I know everybody loves Jameis. I'm not on the Jameis wagon. I'm not one of those Jameis stands. I'm just not. I could care less, truthfully. But Jameis Winston signed a 1-year contract with the Cleveland Browns. I think it was his time to go. I think he's going to be a backup for the rest of his life, unless Deshaun stinks it up again this season and he gets put in that situation. But yes, Jameis Winston is now on his way out of New Orleans. I'm okay with that move. And it is what it is, in my opinion. So, next up, the Saints extend the Honey Badger Tyron um Tyrann Mathieu, sorry, I just brains lagging out. Tyrann Mathieu, 2-year, $13 million. I think it's good. I think solidifying that safety position. And he has shown he's suitable to get re-signed and keep that job. So I'm down with it. Demario Davis, 2-year, 17.25 million dollars. I love it. As long as we keep him back there, I think our linebacking core is in good hands. I like Demario Davis a lot. And I think this is perfect for us to do that. Offensive lineman Ryan Ramczyk agreed to rework his contract, guaranteeing him $6.5 million. It opened up a lot of money for the Saints, being at that $14 million now that we are in open cap space. Saints also signed a linebacker from the Kansas City Chiefs, Willie Gay. I think he'll be incredible coming off the edge. It's a 3-year deal, and I like it a lot. I think this is some of the moves that we need to make in order to really show that we are apart from others, to really bridge that gap. And so I like this move from the Saints. It's good. Adding him to coming off the edge. I love it a lot. A big one that happened, I think this broke about a week and a half ago. Michael Thomas, after failing his physical today or yesterday, he is now set to be released from the Saints. I think it's post June day, June 1st day. And I think it's time. I think if we let him walk last year, that would have been fine as well. He hasn't done nothing for the organization over the past 2.5, 3 years. I get it. He's injured. I don't care at this point. Like, I'm done with the Michael Thomas love. He was great when Drew was here. Drew is now gone, and I'm over it. So let's get him gone. It is what it is at this point. Like, there's plenty of receivers out there for us to go find. There's plenty of receivers to replace him that are actually going to be healthy and play football. And I'm over it. Speaking of receivers who are good and healthy, can play some football, Hunter Renfrow, he's a free agent. He got released by the Raiders today. He is a free agent. He played with Derek Carr. He understands how Derek Carr what he wants, and all this and that. I think it would be a no-brainer. I think it would be a great signing for the Saints to pick up Hunter Renfrow. I wanted the Saints to push for him last season, but it was what it was. Picking up Hunter Renfrow, maybe a vet minimum, or maybe $5 million a year, isn't a bad idea. I think it'll just add some depth to our wide receiver room, especially with Michael Thomas now leaving. It'll give Derek Carr number 2, 3 option. With Olave being there, Rashid Shaheed being, and those guys. So I like Hunter Renfrow to the Saints. I think it's a no-brainer, and let's get it done. But for the main part, looking at this offseason so far, it hasn't been awful. It has not been an awful time. And it's early, but I'm optimistic. I know I was optimistic last year and expected the Saints to have a great year, but I think this year this could be our year. This could not no, no, let me rephrase that. This not that it could be our year. I'm not gonna go jump that far yet. But I think this could definitely be something in the making. We need to have that strong work ethic in order to right the wrongs from last year, because last year was a total letdown being 9-8. In the division like the Saints division. It's awful. The Falcons are terrible. And we'll talk about the Falcons on later videos. They picked up Kirk Cousins this week. They're adding some depth in their team, and they're looking like they're going to be offensive problems. So the NFC South is not looking like a division that's going to be easy to play with and run through next season. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. And I'm looking forward to just seeing what the Saints does over the next couple of weeks. We got the draft in about 50 days, in about a month and a half, and so I'm excited to see what that looks like as well. But anyway, appreciate y'all for watching. Let me know what I should title this series, because I have no idea. Let me know if you like it. Let me know how do you feel about the Saints and what they've been doing over the past couple of weeks. But yeah, I've been your host, Davion. This has been the post game. Peace.